All right, hello again, fellow econometricians, or econometrics students. This is the second video, or the second part of part one, where I'm going to show you an example of how to use different data types and the statement if, and yeah. And I'll just walk you through that. All right, so we have this example here. We can erase that, and yeah, now would be a really good time to actually have everything installed. So you might be able to program side by side, pause the video to just stop and see what I've done and just write it down as I talk, basically. I will try to do it slowly and just explain everything that I can, but if I talk too fast, just pause the video. Alright, so we can just do the same thing as before. We can start with print hello world. And now my plan is that we shall create a program which talks to us a bit. Like it asks us how we're doing. So okay, we're gonna start with the print hello world. So the program is gonna say hello world, and after that we're gonna say hi to it. Just gonna say we're just gonna make a variable here. X is equal to raw input, and this makes it possible for us to respond. So the program will print hello world, and then it will ask us to write in something, and we can try it out right here. Just a little quick hello world, and it asks us for something, blah blah blah, and yeah, that's it. However, now we're gonna actually want this to correspond to something. So let's say that if x would be equal to hi, then the program will be, yeah, it is always important to never forget this colon, because that is how you say to Python that now this statement is done. We're gonna do something within this statement. So yeah, if x is equal to hello, then we're gonna print how are you? I'm just gonna walk through everything. Right. Hello world. Hi. How are you? Yeah. All right. So now we can just there's a thing called nested loops and nested if statements and so on, which is really simple because it's basically just statements within statements. So for example, in this situation we have x hi. If x is equal to hi, then it will print how are you, and then we can just do y is equal to raw input again, and then do the if y is equal to good, then it will print that is good to here. And as I showed you before, we have the else if statement, which is spelled out as elif y is now if y is not equal to good, then it will just assume that something's bad, and it will say, OMG, buddy, why so sad? And yeah, we can try that out. Python hello world, and we're gonna say hi, and it's how are you? I don't know. Oh my god, buddy, why so sad? That's basically it. That is a nested if statement. So it is like we have an if statement, and while we are in this if statement, it will do a new if statement and another an elif statement. So it will first say hi, how are you? We'll say something, and it will check whatever we just said. Now you can do this within Python and a lot of other programming languages. You have things called classes and functions. which is basically the fundament behind why it's called an object-oriented programming language. And that is because you can create objects and so on. But now we're gonna just create a simple function for our discussion. So we're gonna create the function. We're gonna call it politeness because it's gonna be the polite function. And to create a function, a new function in Python, you just press def for define function, and we're gonna do the polite, and then we're gonna do the parentheses, and we can just put a placeholder here. We can create a new function called def impolite. So depending on what we're gonna say, the computer will either be polite or impolite. And we can do a little fun thing with an if function right here. So we can do this. If x is equal to, let's say, yo, the computer will automatically say, it will check out the impolite. So if x is equal to yo, the computer will automatically assume that you are an impolite person, so it will choose to do the impolite answer. And elif x is equal to hello with a large H and an exclamation point, it will assume that you are a polite person, so it will go to polite. Yeah. We'll do y instead, just for keeping them different. All right, so now we will define what happens within the polite. So this is basically the workings of a function. You define a function and you have variables and you can do a lot of stuff with them, but basically you have a function, you activate it, and you want it to return something. So in this case, we know that if our answer is polite, we want a function that creates a function that is polite. And you do this because when you write programs, it's really good to just comment on each function, because it will be easier to read your own code later on and to understand what your own program does. So I'm just gonna do this right now for starters. Alright, so the first thing this function will do is to print how are you today, good sir? We can do the raw input reply is equal to raw input, and now this can check that if if reply is equal to good, then it will it will return good to here. We can also do it like this. This will do. Good to hear. And elif reply is not equal to good, then return sorry to hear that. Good, sir, because it is polite. Now there we have our function, our polite function. So we created a function that is polite, and our program will ask us hello world, and it will check if our reply to that is yo or hello. And by that, if we choose to say hello, the program will be polite and ask us how we are, and we will say something, and it will give us a really polite answer to that. Now we will define the impolite function, a function that is impolite. Like that. Yeah. Now we can see that we need to be rude. So we'll start by printing bugger off or something. I don't know. And it will check for a reply, which will be a raw input. And if reply is equal to sorry, then it will return nah man, that's cool. And elif reply is not sorry, because it's a bit angry. The program is angry at us. It will reply with screw you. No, oh, sorry. If it is not equal to sorry, it will return screw you. All right, so our function is done. And we can do this, print y. Print y and print y. All right, so we have 33 lines of code right here, and we're gonna see what they do. If you press the up button on your keyboard, your directional arrows on your keyboard, the up button will just take the latest command that you have written. So right now it is hello world. If we go up long enough, we can see we've done some other stuff as well. We will do hello world right now. Hello world, and we can be polite. Hello. How are you today, good sir? And I will say I'm actually kind of good, so I'm gonna say good. Good to hear. And the program ended. So it was a really polite program. However, if we don't write hello, let's write yo, because we are impolite. It'll say bugger off, and I'll say go to hell. And it says screw you. It's such an impolite program right now. That's tough. But however, if we just write yo and then bugger off, and I'm saying I'm sorry, with a large, oh shit, screw, oh no, we failed. Yo, and then sorry. Nah, man, that's cool. All right, so we're cool again. We're cool with the program now. This is a really silly example, but we got to use a lot of stuff. You got to see how we got to use one if statement in each function. When we have to do several stuff, and we have functions here. And if we don't call the functions somewhere, we never get use them. That's kind of why these are basically you can see these as objects basically, because you will use their inner workings for as an object later on wherever you want. And that is kind of the cool stuff with programming, because you could just create a shitload of objects, classes, and functions, and just import them in other programs as well. If you want time, just, oh, I created this amazing algorithm for something, you can just reuse it like however you want, because if you've written a good enough algorithm, you can just reuse it for whatever purpose. Yeah. And of course, you should check out, because there's like an entire philosophy behind how to name a good function and name good stuff in such a manner that your program will be readable and flexible and like multi-purpose. All right, so that is the end of this example. Yeah, see you in the next video.